Hello, you are watching Rear Naked Chat. Breaking down, I say breaking down, we're just chatting about it. uh, Ultimate Fighter 16, Carwin versus Nelson, episode 5, I believe.
Yes.
Which left off last week, where Julian Lane was basically having a bit of a breakdown
on TV.
Which kind of a breakdown that didn't really make a lot of sense, to be honest.
A lot of what Julian Lane does doesn't make sense, though.
It's true. As we highlighted last week, he's not the smartest guy in the world.
God, no.
Which was then pointed out to him by Matt Secor in the house.
Yeah.
He gave the classic response of someone who's a bit of an idiot. He said, "Look, Julian, you know, you're tough, you're a warrior, but your problem is you're not very smart."
Yeah.
And his response was, "I am smart." It's always, isn't it? It's always like
in Julian Lane's head. Okay, threat neutralized. Not smart.
Done. Well, but then he didn't leave it there, though. You see? Oh no. Then I think didn't Matt Secor cup a fart and throw it in his face?
Oh, I think I missed that. That's a.
I believe that happened, and he went absolutely mental. Which is quite interesting because last week all he was saying was, "I haven't got any money. I've lost. Yeah. I'll never, I've got to feed my kids, and I've got no money, etc."
Yeah.
So rather than try and stay with the show and at least get a spot on the finale and maybe a paycheck, he decided he was going to now get himself kicked off the show completely and have no chance of making any money, which again underlines that he's not everything's firing on all cylinders upstairs. I don't think really.
He just feels like one of the most fake people ever. Everything he's done so far, from lived his life and only watched Ultimate Fighters, right. And he knows the things that are meant to go down. And he's like, I'm going to do the prank. I remember he did the first prank for no reason. No one else was talking about pranks. He's like, yeah, before, man. He put a bucket of water above the door. They open it. It's the lick. So he's got that. Then he's had his, his no money, man, like overly over the top kind of dramatic. I've lost this big fight.
Yeah.
It was the going mental, Chris Lieben.
Yeah.
So he's just ticking off all the things he's seen. He's like, he's going to cover them all.
So what else do we need from him? I guess the only thing we didn't have was where he wasn't quite going to make weight before the fight.
Didn't make weight, and the threat of leaving the show as well. I think that might come.
But he kind of touched on that a little bit because he was when he was in his face, he was going, "I've got nothing to lose. I've got nothing to lose."
That's
man.
True.
Get thrown off, like I don't, let's fight. And it was kind of like, we have got something to lose because there's a potential paycheck. If you okay, you might not win the show, but you can still make the finale.
Yeah.
Obviously,
it is.
In that moment of rage, he wasn't really thinking ahead.
There was one thing that he's got to do, which is there's always one guy who gets too drunk and just goes absolutely crazy. Just goes like on a rocket.
I think that's coming. I think, from what I could tell from, they showed like the season highlights at the beginning of the series. I think there's some of that to come, but we'll see.
Yeah.
So then, there was a little moment where I think it was Cameron Diffley, the jiu-jitsu guy.
Oh God, and Roy.
Like, any chance we could do a bit more training? And Roy was like, "Well, cardio you can do yourself." Sort of.
Roy really is like one of the laziest coaches ever, and I think that's just what he is, man. Like he's a one-off.
He just doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, he'll do anything to just get out of training. Like even showed in the clip next week, you see him shouting at a team saying, "Look, if you're not going to help the team, I'm going to show you shit." Like he's already setting up his excuses to not train.
It's not, yeah, exactly.
But as annoying as he is and lazy, he is right in that they shouldn't be training that hard 2 days before a fight, really. Think about in the real world, like 7 days before the fight, you don't do anything but media.
No, media and weight cutting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just how it is in the tough fight. Maybe that's why a lot of the fights are so shit. It's just because they're just overworked.
Yeah, it could be. Could be they're knackered. Because you're training. That's right. You're training twice a day, and then having to fight a fucking fully intense fight. They might not have much in the tank. That's a good point. Yeah, you could be right.
But no excuse to just not coach your team.
Yeah, because it's like, well, okay, yeah, That's not good. But if you know the other guy's training twice a day, you need to match it a little bit.
He's kind of like a David Brent of tough coaches. I think we're going to see more and more of this. Like, there's no structure. He's just really his job and he's just winging it on his personality.
Absolutely winging it. Yeah, as showed last week, little conversation he had with Dana where he didn't really say anything, did he?
Oh, right, about the weight
commission. Like, he knew the point he was trying to make, but it was the way he handled it was just, yeah, like you say, just very David Brentish.
Yeah,
he wasn't really finishing his sentences, and he didn't really know what he was doing. But yeah, that's Roy Nelson, really.
It did all get a little bit TUF Brazil in the middle when Igor was telling his story and his background, and as expected, there were some tears.
Yeah, of course.
And then I like how it cut to Heron Webb, and it just goes, and that's why I wear the pajamas at the weigh-in and stuff, because I just like to have fun. It's just like complete off.
Just shows completely different worlds.
The idea of like coming into the ring in your fucking pajamas, how's that going to be of any advantage to you? Like, that strikes no
to anyone. It's just attention seeking, isn't it? He's just one of them. I think someone pointed it out that he just wants to be on TV. That's why he's there.
Yeah, and I think all Alaskans are a little odd. without wanting to sound like a complete racist.
Yeah, there's something. Yeah, the ones who've been on this show anyway, they're all a little bit strange. But yeah, whose bed did he put out? Mike Ricci, was it?
It was the accountant's bed.
Accountant, Ricci, aka Toby Maguire. He reminds me of Toby Maguire. He wasn't very happy about it.
No.
And again, with most pranks, then it just kind of fizzled.
It's like reality soon comes crashing back down. Okay, that killed a minute and annoyed someone.
Yeah, and then in the end, he just went and got his bed back down, and that was it. Great.
The thing with pretty much every prank in the TUF house, and this is why people should stop them, is because as soon as the person doing the prank, and they can admit it or they can't, they're filled with it's instant regret of like, bothered.
Yeah, there's no point. There was no point. Nobody wins with the fucking pranks. But that's why I'm not a fan. So yeah, the fight was a bit controversial actually in the end.
I'm not so sure. I wrote in my notes, thank God no third round. It was like the first time I just didn't want it to carry on.
Yeah.
And maybe this is off the back of watching UFC 153, I don't know, but it was like, this is so shit compared to the real pay-per-view fights.
It's amazing, isn't it? Because you get used to watching The Ultimate Fighter, and then when you watch an actual full pay-per-view with proper professionals...
The intensity.
Like, yes. This is what it's like.
The skill level.
Yeah. It's so much better. So yeah, it was a bit of a lame fight, to be honest. But I don't think Igor won the first round 10-8.
I can see why it was a 10-8. It wasn't in terms of damage, but he literally did nothing. He was on top of him the whole round.
True.
So it could be... I mean, yeah, if you're going to leave it in the judges, one judge is bound to score it like that. That's all it needs.
Yeah. I think all three did, actually. I think it was a majority decision.
No. One. I remember Dana came in afterwards saying only one judge had it as a draw.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
I like how Nick Aaron Webb afterwards goes, I knew my cardio was better than his, hoping for the third round, and then it was a pause, but I'm still the youngest guy here. So it's like, okay, so every cloud has a...
Yeah.
No one's taking that away from you, mate.
Yeah, you can take that home with you. Well done. Right, so yeah, now... So that puts Team Carwin ahead 3-1 on the series.
3-1.
Which is probably not surprising to anyone, really.
Yeah, and I love how we haven't mentioned Shane Carwin once up until now.
He doesn't.
Because we have
anything.
to.
I was trying to squeeze him in at the end there. It was like, just don't forget Shane Carwin is this show. But
yeah, the most exciting thing we've seen about Shane Carwin is how he kind of moves when his fighters are fighting. Like, he doesn't just sit still. He does actually
he has to stand
do
up.
That. Yeah. That's the most interesting thing about Shane Carwin.
That's it. He doesn't give you much, does he? But yeah, so that's about it. It was a good show. You got any thoughts about it? Let us know down below.
Yeah, comments, please.
And any tips? Anything you think we could do better, or Any hateful comments that you want to get off your chest? Go for it.
Go for it.
Go for it. And yeah, that's about it. Contact details are all on the screen.
Yep, and see you next week.